never imagined my life would change the day I started working at the Moretti mansion. Isabella, his fiancée, treated him like he was invisible, a broken man in a wheelchair she couldn't wait to escape. But I saw something different. Behind those cold eyes was a man fighting battles no one understood. Alessandro Moretti, the feared mafia boss, now paralyzed and forgotten. While she planned her exit, I stayed. I listened. I cared. And that's when everything shifted. He wasn't just my employer anymore. This is the story of how kindness awakened a dangerous love. I stood outside the massive iron gates, clutching my worn bag. The Moretti mansion loomed before me like a fortress. I needed this job desperately. My younger brother's medical bills were piling up, and this housemaid position was my only hope. Mrs. Chen, the head housekeeper, greeted me coldly. "You'll attend to Mr. Moretti directly. His fiancé refuses to do it anymore." She led me through marble hallways to a dimly lit room. There he sat, Alessandro Moretti, once the most powerful man in the city, now confined to a wheelchair. His jaw was clenched, eyes staring blankly out the window. "Good morning, Mr. Moretti," I said softly. He didn't respond. Isabella, his stunning fiancée, breezed past without a glance. "Finally, someone else can deal with him," she muttered. My heart sank. How could she be so cruel? I approached him slowly. "My name is Maria. I'm here to help you." For the first time, his eyes shifted toward me. Something flickered there. Surprise, maybe even hope. Did Maria just make a connection? What will happen next? Like, share, and subscribe to find out. Isabella's laughter echoed from the dining room as I helped Alessandro with his breakfast. She was on the phone, planning lunch with friends, completely ignoring the man she was supposed to marry. Does she always... I hesitated, unsure if I should speak. "Ignore me?" Alessandro's voice was rough from disuse. "Every single day since the accident." 6 months ago, a rival family's ambush left him paralyzed from the waist down. Isabella had promised to stand by him. That promise lasted exactly 2 weeks. I carefully adjusted his position, making sure he was comfortable. His eyes followed my movements with curious intensity. "Why do you care?" he asked suddenly. "Because everyone deserves kindness," I replied simply. He looked away, but I saw his jaw relax slightly. Isabella appeared in the doorway, dressed for another outing. "Don't wait up," she told him without emotion. "I'm staying at my mother's tonight." She left without a goodbye. The silence that followed was deafening. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "Don't be," Alessandro said. "I'm used to it." But I could see the pain behind his eyes. Will Maria's kindness break through Alessandro's walls? Like, share, and subscribe for more. Days turned into a routine. Each morning, I helped Alessandro with exercises his physical therapist prescribed. Exercises Isabella never bothered to learn about. "You don't have to do this," he said, as I supported his leg through stretches. "I want to," I answered honestly. Unlike Isabella, I talked to him. I asked about his day, his thoughts, his favorite books. At first, he responded with single words. Gradually, those words became sentences. One afternoon, I found him struggling to reach a book from his wheelchair. Isabella walked past him, saw his struggle, and kept walking. "Let me," I said, retrieving it for him. "The Count of Monte Cristo," I read the title aloud. "I love that story." His eyes widened. "You've read it?" 3 times. Revenge and redemption, powerful themes. For the first time, I saw him smile. It was small, barely there, but real. "No one here reads," he admitted. "Isabella thinks books are boring." We spent that evening discussing literature while Isabella attended another party. I watched him come alive, speaking passionately about stories and characters. Is this the beginning of something deeper? Like, share, and subscribe to see what happens. I was changing Alessandro's bed sheets when his phone rang. His face darkened seeing the caller ID. "Leave it," he commanded, but the phone kept ringing. Finally, I answered. "Moretti residence." "Who is this? Where's Alessandro?" a harsh voice demanded. "He's unavailable. Tell him Marco needs to discuss the shipment today." Alessandro sighed. "Give me the phone, Maria." I watched him transform. The vulnerable man disappeared, replaced by the cold mafia boss everyone feared. He barked orders, made threats, negotiated deals, all from his wheelchair. When he finished, exhaustion crossed his features. "You still run everything," I observed. "From this chair, yes, but they see weakness. My enemies circle like sharks." Isabella entered then, checking her reflection in the mirror. "Still playing gangster?" she mocked. "How intimidating can you be when you can't even walk?" I saw Alessandro flinch. Something protective surged in me. "He's stronger than anyone I've met," I said firmly. Isabella laughed cruelly and left. Alessandro stared at me, something unreadable in his expression. "Thank you," he whispered. Maria standing up for Alessandro. What will Isabella do? Like, share, and subscribe for the next chapter. Late one night, I heard sounds from Alessandro's room. I rushed in to find him on the floor, having tried to transfer himself to bed alone. "Don't," he growled as I approached. "Don't look at me like this." "Like what? Like a human being who fell?" I knelt beside him. "Let me help." He was heavy, but together we managed. As I settled him into bed, tears streamed down his face. The first time I'd seen him cry. "She was supposed to love me," he whispered. "Through everything. That's what she promised." My heart broke for him. I know. The accident showed me who she really was. She loved my power, my money, my status, not me. I held his hand without thinking. Then she's a fool. He looked at our joined hands, then at my face. "Why are you different, Maria? Why do you care about a monster like me?" "You're not a monster. You're a man dealing with impossible circumstances." "I've killed people," he confessed quietly. "Ordered deaths, destroyed lives." "And I'm a maid with nothing," I replied. "We're both more than our worst moments." Alessandro's opening up to Maria. Will this change everything? Like, share, and subscribe to find out. I delivered breakfast to find Isabella packing her designer bags. Alessandro sat silently, his face a mask of stone. "What's happening?" I asked. "I'm leaving," Isabella announced casually. "This engagement is over." "Isabella," Alessandro began. "Don't. We both know this was dead the moment you ended up in that chair." She applied lipstick without meeting his eyes. "I'm marrying Victor Russo next month." My blood ran cold. Victor Russo, Alessandro's biggest rival. "You're marrying my enemy?" Alessandro's voice was dangerously quiet. "She can walk. She can give me the life I deserve." She grabbed her bags. "Goodbye, Alessandro. Thanks for the jewelry." She left without another word. The silence was suffocating. Alessandro's hands gripped his wheelchair so hard his knuckles turned white. She was planning this all along. "I'm so sorry," I whispered. "Don't be. Now I know where I stand." He looked at me then, really looked. "But you're still here. Why?" "Because I see you," I said simply. "The real you." Something shifted in his eyes, something dangerous and tender all at once. Isabella's gone, but what happens now? Like, share, and subscribe for more drama. With Isabella gone, the mansion felt different, lighter somehow. Alessandro and I fell into a new rhythm. Mornings meant physical therapy. I'd learned all his exercises, encouraging him through the pain. 5 more, you can do this. He'd grunt, pushing through. "You're a cruel taskmaster, Maria." You love it," I teased, and he actually laughed. Afternoons were for business. I'd bring his laptop, take notes during calls. I learned about his empire, legitimate businesses mixed with darker dealings. "You should be scared of me," he said one day. "Should I?" I met his eyes. "You've never given me reason to be." Evenings became my favorite. We'd have dinner together, something he never did with Isabella. We talked about everything, my childhood, his rise to power, our dreams. I wanted to be a teacher, I admitted, before life got complicated. You still could. And you wanted to be an architect, I reminded him, having learned this in our conversations. That dream died long ago, he replied sadly. Dreams don't die, they just wait. He reached across the table, touching my hand. He make me believe that. The touch lingered longer than necessary. My heart raced. Are they falling for each other? Like, share, and subscribe to see what happens next. I was helping Alessandro in the garden when 3 black cars pulled up. Men in suits emerged, led by a scarred man I recognized from Alessandro's warnings, Victor Russo. Well, well, the great Alessandro Moretti. Victor's smile was cruel. I came to thank you. Your fiancé is quite grateful for a real man. Alessandro's face remained neutral, but I felt his tension. State your business, Russo. Simple. I'm taking over your territory. What will you do? Chase me in your little wheelchair? The men laughed. Rage filled me. You should leave, I said firmly. Victor's eyes slid to me. And who's this? The new nurse? Or is she warming your bed since Isabella upgraded? Don't speak to her. Alessandro's voice was ice. Or what? Victor leaned close. You're finished, Moretti. Everyone knows it. Get out of my house, Alessandro commanded with such authority that Victor actually stepped back. 2 weeks, Victor threatened. Then I'm taking everything. After they left, Alessandro was silent. I could see him calculating, planning. He's wrong, I said. You're not finished. Aren't I? He looked defeated. No, you're just getting started. How will Alessandro fight back? Like, share, and subscribe to find out. That night, Alessandro's study filled with his most trusted men. I brought coffee, but he asked me to stay. Maria knows everything anyway, he explained to their surprised faces. She's proven more loyal than most. Marco, his second in command, outlined Victor's movements. He's moving product through the docks, expanding into your territory. We hit back hard, suggested Tony, another lieutenant. No, Alessandro said thoughtfully. We hit smarter. He laid out a plan so brilliant I couldn't help but smile. Not violence, but strategy, using Victor's greed against him. We need someone Victor doesn't know, Alessandro continued. Someone who can get close to Isabella, gain information. All eyes turned to me. Absolutely not, Alessandro said immediately. Too dangerous. I can do it, I volunteered. Isabella thinks I'm just a maid. She'd never suspect me. Maria, let me help, please. We argued for an hour. Finally, he agreed, but only with protection. Later, as I prepared to leave, Alessandro caught my hand. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise, I whispered. Our faces were inches apart. The air between us crackled with unspoken feelings. Maria's going undercover. What will she discover? Like, share, and subscribe for the next chapter. I arranged to meet Isabella at her favorite cafe, pretending I needed advice about finding a new position. She was surprised, but pleased. She'd always enjoyed feeling superior. Oh, Maria, you poor thing. How is Alessandro managing without me? He's coping, I said carefully. I heard Victor's taking over his business. Honestly, it's for the best. Alessandro was always too sentimental. She leaned in, unable to resist bragging. Victor's moving a major shipment next week. Once that's done, he'll control everything. That sounds exciting, I encouraged. She showed me her engagement ring, bigger than the one Alessandro gave her. As she talked, she revealed details, dates, locations, contacts, everything Alessandro needed. You should find work elsewhere, Isabella advised. Alessandro's empire is crumbling. Victor says he'll be bankrupt within a month. I acted worried, thanked Tiska the advice, and left with crucial information. Back at the mansion, Alessandro listened intently to my report. "You were perfect," he praised, pride in his eyes. "We can use this." As we worked late planning the countermove, our hands brushed. This time, neither of us pulled away. "Maria, he started. "I know, me too," I whispered. Feelings are growing, but danger is ahead. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Alessandro's plan was masterful. Using Isabella's information, we leaked false intelligence to Victor's network, a fake shipment worth millions. While Victor's men prepared to intercept it, Alessandro's real operation moved through different channels. We watched through security monitors as Victor's team raided an empty warehouse. "He's going to be furious," Marco grinned. "Good," Alessandro replied coldly. "Let him understand who he's dealing with." But I noticed Alessandro's exhaustion. He'd been pushing himself too hard, skipping physical therapy to work. "You need rest," I insisted after everyone left. "I need to finish this." "Alessandro, please." I touched his shoulder. "You're no good to anyone if you collapse." He caught my hand, pulling me closer. "When did you become so essential to me, Maria?" "When did you become essential to me?" I countered, softly. He lifted my hand to his lips, kissing it gently. "This is dangerous," he whispered. "Everything about me is dangerous." "I don't care." They're finally admitting their feelings. What happens next? Like, share, and subscribe to see. The next morning, Victor himself appeared at our gates, fury radiating from him. "You think you're clever," he shouted at Alessandro. "You cost me $3 million. "You cost yourself by underestimating me," Alessandro replied calmly. "This isn't over. Victor told me about your little maid. His eyes found me. How touching. The cripple found a new pet." I stepped forward. "Leave now." Victor laughed. "Or what? What can either of you do?" Alessandro pressed a button on his wheelchair. Suddenly, armed guards appeared from every corner. "I may be in a wheelchair," Alessandro said quietly, "but I still own this city. Remember that." Victor left, but not before threatening, "Watch your back, Moretti, both of you." After he was gone, Alessandro looked worried. "I should send you away, somewhere safe." "I'm not leaving you." "Maria, he'll target you to hurt me." "Then we face him together." I knelt beside his wheelchair. "I'm not Isabella. I don't run when things get hard." He cuffed my face gently. "I don't deserve you. Let me decide what you deserve." He kissed me then, soft, tentative, and full of promise. They kissed, but Victor's dangerous. What's next? Like, share, and subscribe. It happened fast. I was returning from the market when a van pulled up. Men grabbed me, threw me inside. I screamed, fought, but there were too many. They took me to an abandoned building. Victor was waiting. "Hello, Maria. Let's see how much you mean to Moretti." He called Alessandro, showing him through video. I could see the fear in Alessandro's eyes, the first time I'd seen him truly afraid. "Let her go, Russo. This is between us. Bring me $5 million and control of the docks, then maybe I'll consider it." "Don't give him anything," I shouted. Victor backhanded me. Through the screen, I saw Alessandro's rage. "You just made a fatal mistake," Alessandro said, his voice deadly calm. "You have 1 hour to release her unharmed. If you don't, I will destroy everything you love." Victor laughed. Big words from a man who can't even walk. But I knew Alessandro. He had a plan. Exactly 58 minutes later, federal agents stormed in. Victor was arrested. Alessandro had given authorities evidence of his trafficking operations. As they freed me, I heard Alessandro had mobilized his entire network. For me. Maria's rescued, but what happens now? Like, share, and subscribe for the conclusion. I woke in Alessandro's mansion, in a guest room I'd never seen before. He was beside my bed, exhaustion etched on his face. "How long have you been here?" I asked. "Since they brought you back. 8 hours." He took my hand. "I thought I'd lost you." "You mobilized the FBI for me."
I would have mobilized the entire military if necessary. His voice cracked. Maria, when I thought he might hurt you, I realized something. This chair, my empire, my power, none of it matters without you. Tears filled my eyes. Alessandro, I love you. I don't know when it happened. Maybe when you first spoke to me with kindness, maybe when you stayed when everyone else left. But I love you, and I can't pretend otherwise. I love you too, I whispered. I have for weeks. He moved from his wheelchair to sit on my bed, something I'd rarely seen him do. He held me carefully, like I was precious. I'm still in this chair, he reminded me. My life is still dangerous. I know, and I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. We kissed, deeper this time, full of promise and hope. Love has won, but there's one more chapter. Like, share, and subscribe to see their ending. 6 months later, Alessandro stood at our wedding. Actually stood with the help of braces and crutches. Physical therapy, determination, and love had brought back some mobility. I told you dreams just wait, I whispered as we exchanged vows. Isabella had fled the country after Victor's arrest, implicated her in Victor's arrest. We heard she was living in Europe, unhappy and alone. I felt no satisfaction in it, only gratitude for the path that led me here. Alessandro had restructured his business, moving away from illegal operations toward legitimate enterprises. It wasn't easy, and some old associates left, but he was building something better. Mrs. Moretti, he said, kissing me as husband and wife for the first time. Our mansion was different now, filled with laughter, warmth, and hope. I'd started online teaching courses, pursuing my old dream. Alessandro was designing buildings again, one-handed sketches becoming architectural plans. Who knew a maid would change everything? Marco joked at the reception. Not a maid, Alessandro corrected, pulling me close. The woman who saw past the wheelchair, the reputation and the fear. The woman who taught me that real strength isn't about power, it's about love. I kissed him. And I taught you that sometimes the greatest love stories start with simple kindness. The end. Did you love their story? Like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories.